Hey, what's going on, world? This is Brennan, Mr. B. Great, and today we're talking about uncle duties. So right now I'm sitting down with my main man Myron, and we're just gonna jump right into it right now. Some people are career driven, meaning they gotta have their career in order, their house in order, everything in order before they have their family. And some people think like, you know what? I can do it. I can do it all. I can have both at the same time and enjoy my life. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that's a very good dialogue to start off with. It's more so up to the individual. It depends on what you value. Of course, some people value that quality time, the family time, and some people think, as you said, they have to go out and establish their career first in order to take care of a family, a home, a wife, kids. Yeah. But just thinking about something that I had a conversation with someone in the past about along those lines is when you look at it from a gender perspective, it's the perception sometimes is that women will put their family and love and their spouse first before a career, and sometimes guys are perceived as trying to pursue their career first and then trying to find love, a home, marriage, and children. But it's up to each individual. I've seen them work both ways. I will say that.
So you don't have kids that you know about, right?
Nah, I do not. Nah, Brandon.
Okay. So you're just practicing.
I'm practicing.
Okay. So because you don't have kids right now, do you feel like you're missing out on anything? Like because your friends from high school, your family, or your coworkers, or who you around have kids, do you feel like you're missing out on anything?
Second childhood. That is the biggest thing that I think about in this process and this next step. I love the idea of just starting all over again. Whether it's kindergarten, coloring crayons, coloring books, going to recitals, going to Little League baseball games. You get a chance to start all the way over again. And another thing that I think about is just having the opportunity to just grow with that child. That child is going to teach you, but you're teaching that child. So it's kind of a concept of going back and forth. You're trying to go back to your childhood while also trying to teach your child how to grow. So, whenever you see dads out, doing hair, playing piano, just doing things that are out of the norm, or things that he probably wasn't thinking about doing with the female or with the child that's a boy as well, or a female or a guy. I think that's the biggest thing, is just having a chance to just go back and experience and just starting back over again.
See how Lorenzo Ball, like he kind of guided his family to where he wanted them to be. Like he started them young, like this is your life that I'm gonna plan for you. Some parents like, this is what you're gonna do, whether you like it or not. You're gonna learn to love it.
You know how many kids out there will go, I'm talking about a 5-star athlete, that's guaranteed to go to a D1 college, scholarships from 100 schools, and mom or dad, never saw him play a high school game. For whatever reason, whether it's working or not being involved in the life. But just, I wish we had more examples of that. I really do. And just to take it one step further, I think once you start that, you can start teaching the child about financial responsibility. Because growing up, I think maybe it's a generation thing, at least where I'm from Montgomery, Alabama, just things that you don't talk about, like credit.
The unspoken.
The unspoken things, And looking back on it, you can't really fault your parents because they didn't know anything.
They don't know.
And
you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. So when you don't pass it down, it's you have that gap, and then it's up to someone else to try to come in and make that generational change. So going back to LeVar Ball, I think what he did was a great thing. How he went about it, some ways maybe a little bit different, but I do think he had the right idea, and I love the example that he set.
So he kind of took the example of the Jackson family, Michael Jackson and his dad.
Correct.
Look at other entertainers and other people that's in the limelight, and you kind of feel like they had that guidance to put them where they're at. You know what I mean? It was that hunger for I grew up in this area, but I don't want my child to grow up in that area. So that's where the strictness come in, and they pretty much plan their life. Without a plan, it's like you just floating in the wind. You don't know because your parents wasn't there. You know what I mean? And I think it's very important to be there, to be actually, you can be present but not present. You coming home from work, you say, hey, I'm sleepy. You know what I'm saying? You there at the house, but you're not there. It's one thing to be there, and it's another thing to be actually involved. It's been so many times where I run into parents and they don't know what's going on in their child's life, like at school. Like how they doing in school? Oh yeah, they doing great, man. But they don't know. Yeah, no. You can tell when somebody know, because they'll give you in detail, like, oh, they done did this, we went here. You know, that goes into being involved with the PTO.
But I hate to cut you off, but I definitely somebody want to go back and catch, and you can add it however you want to. But as you was talking, the perfect example that came to my head of LeVar Ball and what you're talking about, Richard Williams. Mm-hmm. The father of the Williams sisters.
Yeah, Serena.
Do you remember when Serena and Venus came out? Their dad was the dad who was hanging on the fence.
Yeah.
The dad who was at every practice. Mm-hmm. The dad that was at every game, at every match. Mm-hmm. And America looked at him like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
This man's a maniac.
Yeah.
Just for supporting, just for being, however you go about doing it.
Yeah.
But so I had to stop you and say that, because when I think of LeVar Ball, as we were speaking about, and I look at the other way of how it turns out, two of the greatest tennis players of all time, definitely the greatest in Serena, probably of her generation. So, just looking at it that way, being involved is the number one best way.
Yeah. It's hard not to do what you see. You know what I mean? And as an uncle, what's some roles that you play that you think that are important?
Just always being there, just always trying to be there, and just always having an ear. Because as you said, with the social media era and what's going on in the world, it's so easy for them to gravitate to it. Yeah. So, and I remember as you were saying, they're going to do what they see. Yeah. But what I like about you and what you're doing, they do what they're told. Yeah. If you tell them and you teach them and you go about raising them the way that you are yourself, which I'm very proud of and continue on it. But
appreciate it.
I think that is a big part of it, is make sure you talk to them, make sure you have that dialogue, and just being there. Kids feel, they feel love. They have a heart, they have emotions as well. So, as long as you repeatedly do it and they just become a part of it, I think it's something that they can definitely carry on the rest of their lives.
Okay. What's some things you'll tell them, like, look, I've been through this, here's a way to go about it?
No matter what you go through, you have to go through it. Like you actually have to go through it, live it. And I guess my biggest thing is poor me. If something goes wrong, don't let it turn into something else, and then you start a snowball effect. Yeah. It really is all about how you bounce back. I truly believe that you find your character and who you are as a person in life, not from the good times, but the bad. When you got to make something work, when you don't have it, when you have to ask for something, when you have to deal with responsibility. So I think that's probably the biggest thing, for the kids. And another thing too is just, no matter how people treat you, you just treat them the right way and do what you're supposed to do. Yeah. So you may not get the same love back that you put out. Yeah. And another thing is, everybody who comes with you can't go with you. Which means friends that you have, and maybe some family. You may have to make some tough decisions in life, but you have to understand that you have to make those decisions for yourself. And I think if you do that, you'll be happy. You'll be satisfied because you did it based on what you wanted to do.
So it's a quote that you live by. We were just talking off camera about it. What is the quote again?
The quote is, don't lose your enthusiasm between each disappointment. And that's something that I try to think about in life, because disappointments are going to happen. And things that I try to tell my niece and nephew as well is, you may not make that cheerleader squad. You may not make homecoming queen. You may not be baseball captain, but you can't get down about it. Yeah. The very next day, you go right back out with the same hunger and drive that you had while trying to pursue it. And I think a lot of kids get caught up in what I call scoreboard watching. You know, what's going on. You know, what's going on. You want to get to the end process. You know, it doesn't matter what's going on. Cause I don't think people want to do is, you know, get to the end. Did I win? Did I lose?
Yeah.
What did you do throughout the game in order to see if you win or lose? The process. That's the word I'm looking for.
People always like to skip the process. They just want to be. They want to be what they see on TV. They don't know what the late nights, the early mornings the person went through.
Staying late. The doing things.
What Drake said, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
You wasn't with me, and that gives you value of the people who are in the gym.
Yeah.
So by you being out at the park, or by you being at the piano lessons, you're in the gym. Yeah. And that's more than anything, because as I said before, think about how many people aren't in the gym, and that's the perception. That's the. You say you're the minority by being in the gym. Yeah. Like, so just think about it that way.
And for that, do you go that extra step when the gym closed? Do you go home and go that extra mile? You know what I mean? Like, cause everybody in the gym, we all at practice. Like, what makes you stand out? What's some stuff that makes you different? You know what I mean?
It's the work. It's the hard work. I tell people all the time, you know. It's, you know, in a corporate setting or any kind of setting, I don't mind favorites. Yeah. You know, I don't mind people having favorites or people they get along with. I just want fairness. Yeah. That's all I want, because I know if you put me on the starting line with everyone else, I'm going to outrun everybody. Yeah. You know, so that's the goal, that's the drive. And when you grow up that way, being that way your whole life, you just take it with you everywhere you go. It's almost like a chip on your shoulder. So, and to be able to set that example, you know, for your niece, nephew, kids, you know, that's the thing you want to do, because they see you getting up, they see you working, they know what you do. Yeah. So as long as they see that, they have a base from it. And the good thing is just try to lead them to the right way, because at some point, you know, as they say, you know, you're going to have to turn over the keys to the car. Yeah. You know, and trust them with it.
So do you teach your niece and nephew about winning and losing, or does everybody get a trophy? You know how it is. Everybody wins. We all win.
We don't do participation trophies. And earlier you made a comment about the Jackson family, you know, the kids and Joe. And I don't know if you saw the movie, but in the movie they were doing a talent show of some sorts. And they came in second, but of course they was the best group there. You know, situations they didn't win first for whatever reason. Got to keep the same enthusiasm. Yeah. So they give the Jackson family a TV, and I'll never forget. Joe Jackson was like, "We don't do consolation prizes. Yeah, we don't want the TV." Yeah. So you know, and I remember James Harrison, you know, caught a little bit of flack a few years ago about his son participating in a sporting event. You know, they didn't win, but everybody got participation trophies. Yeah. And you know, he took it from him. And you know, that was a big dialogue back and forth on social media. Yeah. Same conversation. What do we have? Yeah. Do you celebrate it? Do you not celebrate it? I only, you know, celebrate successes. You know, pat them on the back, pick them up, tell them what you need to do to get there. But we don't want to celebrate it, because now you're celebrating what's not your best. Yeah. It's not your best.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, people don't care who lost. They don't remember who lost.
They don't.
They remember who won. You can remember who won the last year NBA championship.
Exactly.
You can remember the last year Super Bowl winner. You remember who they played?
No. What happened? Banners last forever. Banners hang forever. And in life we have resumes. In sports they have banners. Yeah. So, you know, everybody's playing for a reason. You know, and that's just like in life, you know. Everybody is out here trying to do the best for their families and take care of their generations. And you know, and that's what it's about. And it's not even really about competing with anyone. Yeah. Because all you gotta do is just be the best coach to your child. Yeah. That's it. If you do that, you win.
Everything handles itself. You playing the game of life for your legacy, and I think people get that mixed up with working and trying to be rich and try. You comparing yourself to others.
It's not that. And going back to your very first question, when you was asking about, you know, career versus family or whatnot. When you're doing it all for your legacy, it all ties in. Yeah. It's just about what happens first. Yeah. You know, did we meet first? Did we live together first? Did we have a child first? Did we get married first? Yeah. You know, all of those things are later on in life, but it's all for the legacy. And just to think about, in some, I wouldn't say cultures, but I say this. Black people, white people.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's talk about it.
College.
Yeah.
Black kid graduates high school. First thing being yelled in the house is, you got to get out of here and go get a job.
Yep.
It's pressure from one. In some cultures, is you're going to college.
Yeah.
And not that you're just going to college. You're going to college. You're going to find your spouse. You're going to find out what your spouse do. Y'all going to meet each other. Y'all going to get married. You're going to live life happily ever after.
Yeah.
If you just so happen to get pregnant prior to that, they will make arrangements to make sure that the marriage is taken care of before the child. Whereas I think in some ethnicities, it's totally opposite. You know, the goal sometimes isn't to go to college, it's to provide. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the situation you come from. Yeah. And then, you know, you get out there in that situation and you do become parents and they tend to separate. Yeah. So, whereas, you know, our generational curse or thing, it seemed to be, you know, to separate, whereas I see in other cultures, it seems like they tend to come closer in those situations. And of course, that's where it all starts at with the structure. So question, do you think it's important that your niece and nephew go to college, or can they become who they supposed to be without going that? Yes, of course. I want them to be whatever they want to be and can, because as long as you work hard and try and give it everything, you know, things that happen. You know, things that happen for you. You got to put yourself in position. A lot of that comes with personality. Yeah. You know, integrity, character, moral compass, just things that you just grow up on. But you know, as far as success or failure, you know, who am I to identify that? You know, that their biggest success may be, you know, to become a spoken word artist. Yeah. You know, and it takes them wherever, you know, it's take them, you know, but a child's dream is a child's dream, and as a parent or anyone for that, I think, you know, anyone should support that and definitely teach them, give them advice, and just lead them in the right direction, because you have a little bit more wisdom than them. Yeah. You know, believe it or not, you know, and they'll listen to it. You know, whether they may not use it the next week, but somewhere in life, you know, I'm hoping that, you know,
it's gonna play in the
back of Uncle Myron told me I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna be broke. He told me I'm gonna lend money out, get it back. I'm gonna lend money out, not get it back. Yeah. You know, it's gonna. But as I said earlier, you gotta stay even keel. Never too high, never too low. Yeah. You'll be alright.
So when you find that passion, that's when you jump on their passion and go all in on it, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. You know, whatever it is, you know, like, you know, my niece is a singer and a dancer in her high school, so my biggest thing is to be there for all the dance recitals, all the shows. You know, my nephew's playing college baseball right now, and I got a chance to, you know, fly home and go see him before he graduated. You know, I haven't seen a game, you know, by me being out of state. Yeah. You know, I haven't seen a college baseball game. Yeah. But I knew, legacy purposes, you're gonna always be able to say Myron saw you play in a college game.
They gonna remember
Myron. He didn't come to all of my games in high school, but he came to one. Yeah. So things in life, significant markers, you gotta be there for him. Yeah. Graduation, wedding, funerals, you know, things that just, like I said, life markers. Yeah. You know, he will know in his head that happened. Yeah. And for me, that's everything for me. No matter what it takes to get there, what I gotta do, just to know, because that's what I want my legacy to be. You know, it's I'm a moment maker. Yeah. I'm a moment maker. I'm big on moments. That's why, you know, the thing about having kids, that's why I'm so big on the second childhood, was that every vacation I've ever really been on has been by myself. Yeah. Can you imagine you have kids? I've never been to Jungle Island. I would love to go. I could go, of course. But think about going with a purpose. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like,
it changed the whole dynamic.
It changes everything. As I was, you know, we talked, you know, yesterday leading up to this, and I was driving home and I was thinking about some of the things you said, and about the second childhood is like, let's just say PlayStation. Yeah. I grew up on Madden. Mm-hmm. I grew up on live. Yeah. But once you make that decision of career in order to get those things later on in life, you put those things down and spend all your free time on building that legacy. Yeah. You have a child, guess what? You're right back there. Yeah. Now you have, now you know what I'm
You
saying?
have a purpose.
You
Your
have a
purpose. Your
purpose.
purpose changed.
Dialogue, teaching
Yeah.
them things, how to run the plays, what
Yeah.
to look for. You know, just little small things that is. And then now, next thing you know, what 10 years later on, now you're having arguments about who's better. You know,
Yeah.
Kobe or LeBron.
Yeah.
Me and my nephew go back and forth.
Yeah.
Crazy about that, passionate about it, but that's a dialogue that we have based off something that we
Being involved,
being
yeah,
involved.
yeah.
We have in common. Now we can have that conversation.
Yeah.
That conversation can spin off to what you been doing,
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You taking care of what you taking
Treating
care
life
of.
as a game and the preparation. Everything is a game.
You got
life is a game.
You got something. You got something based off of it. You got something to go with from there.
Appreciate it, man.
No problem, man.
Appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Keep doing your thing. Love what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Proud of you, man. And like I said, you know, everyone get involved. Get involved. Stay
You know
involved.
what it is. Get involved. Get involved. Let me help you build that strong foundation with your children.